Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back on Monthly Theme Thursday with my review of The Faculty. This month's theme is Final Guy July, when Jason and I will be watching horror movies with final guys. Sometimes, many times even, in horror movies with final girls, there will also be male survivors. Well, the opposite can also be true for these final guy films. As long as the guy is the main protagonist, it qualifies. The Faculty may be one of the best examples of a final guy horror film. In fact, when Jason and I thought of this theme, this was the movie that inspired the idea for me. This would have been my first review of the month, but with the way the days landed, I wanted to do something 4th of July related last week. The Faculty is a 1998 horror film, directed by Robert Rodriguez, and I always forget that. I associate this movie more with Kevin Williamson. He wrote the screenplay. Now, the reason why The Faculty inspired the idea for this theme is because I hadn't seen it in at least 20 years. It's a movie I think about often, but for some reason, I don't rewatch it. And so I used Monthly Theme Thursday as the perfect opportunity to do so. Man, this is awesome. I remember seeing this in theaters when it was first released, and then watched it numerous times after. But, like I said, it's been at least 2 decades since I've seen it. I know I really liked it back then, but I loved it this time around. And this is definitely a film I need to watch more often. First of all, I love every movie and TV show, for that matter, associated with Kevin Williamson. Also, the cast in The Faculty is incredible. There's Elijah Wood, Josh Hartnett, Clea Duvall, Jordana Brewster, Usher, Sean Hattasy, Salma Hayek, Famke Janssen, Piper Laurie, Christopher McDonald, Bebe Neuwirth, Robert Patrick, Jon Stewart, John Abrahams, Danny Masterson, and Dwayne Martin, who plays Joel in Scream 2. Another connection to Kevin Williamson. It's also funny how at one point in the film, Josh Hartnett's character, Zeke, hands a couple of VHS tapes to some guys at school, allegedly containing full frontal nudity from Neve Campbell and Jennifer Love Hewitt. Of course, those 2 actresses played in other Kevin Williamson movies, Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer, respectively. The Faculty is even meta like Scream, in the fact that it acknowledges it's basically a loose remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. But that's Kevin Williamson for you. For those of you who have never seen the movie, here's a brief synopsis. A group of high school students, each fitting a particular archetype, must come together to defend themselves when they find that something is very wrong with the faculty. Casey, played by Elijah Wood, finds a mysterious parasite on the football field. Then he and Delilah, played by Jordana Brewster, witness a couple of faculty members kill another. Casey's parents do not believe him, though, and of course, neither does the rest of the faculty. Not even the cops believe his story. That's because all of the adults are quickly being taken over by whatever it is infecting the faculty. Soon enough, the students themselves are being infected, leaving Casey and his new friends to fend for themselves. You know what they say, if you can't beat 'em, join 'em. but Casey won't go down without a fight. This specific group of students is determined to survive against the faculty. Did I say the cast is incredible? Because it is. Just about everyone in this film is recognizable. I also really like the high school setting. The majority of the film is set there. I'm not a huge fan of science fiction, although there are some exceptions. But as far as the faculty goes, I almost don't even consider it to be a sci-fi film. I mean, yes, it is science fiction, but I wouldn't call it sci-fi horror. I'd call it horror sci-fi. To understand what I mean by that, think of colors. Blue-green, for example, is more blue than it is green. Green-blue, on the other hand, is more green than blue. While the faculty has a sci-fi element, it's more horror than sci-fi. There are some really good jump scares. One in particular early in the film got me. Truthfully, there are some genuinely creepy scenes in this too. Some unnerving stuff. I really like the commentary on social politics of high school. With the variety of characters and personalities, there should be at least one everyone can relate to. With significance to this month's theme, I think it was a bold choice to have a final guy rather than a final girl. Despite the cast, any of the female cast members could have been final girl material. But instead, Kevin Williamson wrote Elijah Wood as the prototypical final girl, but he's a male character. From the cover here, you might assume Josh Hartnett's character is the final guy, if you haven't seen the film. But it's Elijah Wood's character, Casey. By the way, despite having not watched The Faculty in 20 years, I own it on VHS, DVD, multiple multi-packs, and bought this Blu-ray specifically for this video. I actually found it not long after deciding on this theme, so I picked it up to watch it in high def in preparation for this review. And that's because, well, you know, physical media matters. Even with all of the releases I own, it's a shame there has never been a special edition of The Faculty. There are a lot of deleted scenes, and even an entirely deleted character. Her name was Venus, and she was featured in trailers as well as other promo material when The Faculty was first released. For whatever reason, her entire story was removed from the final film, although she still appears in one scene in the final cut. Maybe that's a topic for another day, though, and another video. The special effects in the movie hold up extremely well. I was a little worried about that, because I couldn't remember how they looked, but I was impressed. We get some full nudity, which is a huge plus. The Faculty has an awesome soundtrack, and it immediately establishes the vibe of the film. I love that the opening scene makes it appear as if the movie is a slasher. And I love the ending. I feel like I could say so much more about The Faculty because of how much I enjoyed it. But I'll end here. What are your thoughts on this Final Guy film? Comment below and let me know. And please be sure to check out Jason's video to see which horror movie featuring a final guy he's reviewing today for Monthly Theme Thursday. Which final guy film will I review next? Check back next week to find out. Until then, remember, physical media matters. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up and be kind. Subscribe.